Hola, ¿qué tal? Bienvenidos. Welcome to another Wine Steward video. What you see before you, besides a gringo trying to look like a gaucho, which will be explained sooner or later, is a bottle of beautiful, beautiful white Burgundy, affordable and beautiful white Burgundy, meaning it's Chardonnay from France. It's from the Macon region, Macon-Perron. Probably said that wrong. To be more precise, Macon-Perron. It is 100% Chardonnay, grown in limestone. Lovely. Many of you have had this wine. Have a closer look. Many of you have not. All of you should. The problem is, this is the last freaking bottle. Last bottle of this wine. Dad nabbit, what do we do about that? We go back to the importer, who does not represent this wine in California. It's a pain in the ass to get this. We have to do some negotiating. We have to wait and wait and wait. But I can tell you that we have procured the last 20 cases in existence in the entire United States, Estados Unidos. And they're coming. They're coming on a truck as of right now. They get here in about a week. And in the meantime, you may pre-order. If you've had this wine, you will pre-order because you've loved it. If you haven't had this wine, take it from the gringo trying to look like a gaucho. If you can trust such a person. This is very nice white Burgundy. To keep it convenient and to keep you well supplied, we're asking you to buy it in 6-bottle lots. Therefore, you may now go to thewinesteward.com and purchase for about like 150 bucks. And that's before your wine club discount. Wine club members, you who get 10% off, get it for somewhere around 135 or so. 6 bottles of lovely white Burgundy that you and your non-French wine drinking friends will both enjoy. You may turn on the lights for somebody out there who drinks only domestically with a bottle like this. Because it's from Southern Burgundy, it's got a little more generosity, but it's still true to Burgundy with that limestone nerve. Very nice stuff. Les gentilhommes, the gentlemen, les gentilhommes, les gentilhommes. Say it seriously. I think I need a cigarillo. Okay. Get in on this. Go to the website, thewinesteward.com. Buy your 6-pack. We'll have it for you by about April 1st. No fooling. I'd like to tell you about a couple of other really brand new cool wines that we've just brought in. So let's go through them real quick. The Wine Steward loves to bring in things that are interesting and delicious. We like wine to be both. And here's a great example. This is an Alsatian Riesling. This is bone dry Riesling. So when you hear the word Riesling, many of you like freak out and run. And you should come right back to this. This is not just Riesling from Alsace, where some of the greatest Riesling in the world occurs. This is Grand Cru, meaning it's grown on more important soil. Always a slope where mineral is more important than like soil. There's more rock here, namely granite. In this case, this is a Grand Cru called Frankenstein, not Frankenstein. Sorry, Gene Wilder. Not Frankenstein. At any rate, sorry, but this is Charles Fry, or you can say Frey, either way. They say it either way there, because this is like France bordering on Germany. Grand Cru Riesling, for far less than a Grand Cru Riesling will usually cost from a better known big brand of Alsatian wine. Try it with sushi. It will be kick ass, I promise. Grand Cru Riesling, under 40 bucks. Beautiful stuff. Tasted it 4 days ago. It got here today. Next up, another weirdo. That's all right. We're into that. Because you are very, very open-minded, you beautiful Wine Steward customers. We love you for that. How about an Altesse from the Bougie region? It's Bougie, yes. Bougie is East France, like part of Savoie or right next to Savoie, depending on your map. And it is going to be made entirely of a grape called Roussette. The other name for it is Altesse. And it is like, well, what the hell is that? I need to describe it for you because you've never heard of this grape, right? I mean, maybe a few of you have, but most of you have not. Charles Neal brings one in. We've carried his. This is brought in by Gregoire, who we did an event with just a couple weeks ago. 100% Altesse, grown on slopes, grown on mineral. It's single parcel wine. What is Altesse? What is Roussette? What is this grape with two names? It is aromatically, well, let's see, Grace was trying it with us yesterday, and Grace was saying, I'm smelling nuts. And I said, well, how about maybe hazelnuts? She said, I don't know. She tries not to agree with me. I was personally smelling something more like peach and quince. And somebody else was contributing, what was the other contribution? Honey. It's a little bit honey. It's a little bit like a Loire Valley Chenin Blanc, a little bit like a white Burgundy, and it's got all that richness in the nose, and then you put it in your mouth, and that's when you witness zing, vibrancy. It kind of saves the wine from being too heavy. You smell heaviness, and then you taste a laser beam. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. I'll test La Croisette from a producer called Domaine d'Isilla. Domaine d'Isilla. Like, never heard of it, right? Neither have we. You gotta have this wine. You gotta. It's gonna be a great food wine. Okay, why don't we go to Washington State real quick for 2 new arrivals. First one, another white. This will come in handy this summer out there on the porch on a hot day in the Livermore Valley. From Walla Walla Vintners, a favorite producer of mine. I like the way that they make things conservatively and accurately instead of trying to make things bigger than they should be. This is 100% Sauvignon Blanc, zingy, probably never saw a barrel at all, vibrant. And the one thing I really thought of when I smelled it was pith. And I'm pronouncing that properly, thank goodness. Pith, not piss, okay? Pith. What is pith? That's between the skin and the fruit of a citrus fruit, right? So it's like lemon pith or grapefruit pith, that powdery white stuff. You smell it. You'll know what I mean when you have this. It's not cat pee, it's pith. All right, very nice stuff. The other wine from Washington State, well, look what they sent us. They sent us the new vintage without showing it to us. Bad on that vendor. We gave him a spanking verbally and said, hey dude, we've been carrying the 18 of this Cabernet Franc from Owen Rowe. You sent the 19. We have not tasted and approved of the 19. He said, and I knew he would. He's a cool dude. He said, just go ahead and open a bottle. It's on me. I love it when they say that. And here it is. Because I want to make sure it's as good as last time. You know what? Turns out it's better than last time. Really beautiful. Beautiful. Cabernet Franc, if it's okay to say this, is a more feminine version of Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet is the man. Cabernet Franc is the lady. Definitely a lady. Fragrant, perfumey, more gentle on the palate. That's what's happening here. It's beautiful wine. You should try it. This new Owen Rowe, the new arrival, gets our approval. There are 11 bottles downstairs, and we will be bringing in more based on how good this is. Thank you, Percy, for comping the bottle. All right. Why don't we finally get to what this is all about, all right? This is just to say that in 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks, Lizzie Butler's coming back. She's going to represent Chile and Argentina to us up here on the mezzanine for perhaps the 5th or 6th time. She's fantastic. She is, in my opinion, the most avid, enthusiastic, and intelligent shower of that subject of Chile and Argentina. So across the Andes, we'll be tasting about 6 wines from each side, maybe up to 13 total. And you'll expect to see Malbec from Argentina, certainly. Argentina, perhaps I should say, since I'm wearing this. And of course you expect to have Carmenere or Carmenere from Chile. But we are going to take you elsewhere too. So it's going to be cool. Come if you are open-minded, if you want to taste and hear about great wines from both sides of the Andes. This product, meaning the seat that you'll be sitting in, is now available on thewinesteward.com. You can sign up today. The first 24 people to RSVP get seated. The rest of you stand outside the locked door with mournful looks on your faces. Okay? So we hope you'll do that with us. Chile and Argentina, Lizzie Butler. That's coming up on April 5th. April 5th. It's a Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Hope to see you there. Now, let's very quickly show you what's on the WineBar menu as of this weekend, as of yesterday. This video is getting out a little bit late. But let's just say, you know what was cool about all my visits to Spain? When you sit down for a drink at a Spanish bar, you will almost certainly handed just a little tidbit of food to go along. It's almost like a rule around there. Like, if you're going to sit down, even before your drink arrives, they just put down some kind of tapas, some kind of just just a nibble or two of something. Well, here's my nibble. I suggested to Dawn, if we're going to carry these things, we got to like show them to all of our guests at the wine bar mezzanine. Can you hear that? I should get closer. Crunch, crunch, right? Everybody's going to get one of these, at least one per couple. These are cornets from Spain. And how ridiculous is that? Why do we really have to bring in cornets from Spain? Because they're the best damn cornets I've ever had. They improve on what you can get over here. And everybody's going to like these unless you have some kind of corn allergy, I guess. But you can also buy them downstairs. Of course, it's an advertisement for a new product that we're selling downstairs. Cornets from Spain. Who knew? All right. See this glass? What do you do with that glass? You put Pinot Noir into it. What else? Maybe Syrah. Lots of other things are working in this glass lately. You know what a lot of people who love champagne do? They forget the flute altogether. You know that we're more into a tulip-shaped glass, much smaller than this, but like, so you can smell the stuff. Yeah, but you know what? Your staff, the person who's helping you at the wine bar this weekend isn't necessarily going to do this, but if you saw this video and you would like, we can serve you this beautiful champagne, Charles Coin, in a burgundy glass, so you can fully smell it. I like to do this sometimes. I think it's useful. Oh, this is from Southern Champagne. It's the real thing. It's champagne. It's mostly Pinot Noir, a little bit of Chardonnay. It's from the Côte de Bar, which is actually closer to Chablis than it is to the main part of Champagne up there by Hans and Epernay. So here is the sparkling wine of the week. Best part of the day. All right. So that's the sparkling, real champagne, small grower producer, good stuff. Now, white wine flight. Let's put them all up in front of you real quick. And just say, here are 4 Spanish whites that you can do by the glass, or you can have as a flight of 2-ounce pours each. I don't think this is going to work. Well, it kind of works. All right, so this is the first Spanish white. It's called Chocolí or Chocolina. You can be fancy, and frankly, it's from Basque country. It's made with a grape called Andarabizuri, and it is vibrant, clean, super clean, squeaky clean white wine. Low alcohol and a little bit spritzy. There's a little bit of trapped carbon dioxide in there. The next Spanish wine is not Spanish, but it sounds Spanish. It's made from a place called Salnes, very, very high up, much higher than even Mendoza, Argentina. We're in northern Argentina for a Torrontés from Salnes. Torrontés, frankly, perhaps should not even exist. They should rip it all out and plant something else in most places where it's grown. But in Salnes, up here at about 7,000 or 8,000 feet, it works very well. It's a little leaner. It's always super fragrant and sometimes like too fragrant, but that's the right kind of fragrance. And bone dry, very floral wine. Dry, I think this would be fun. A chef would have a good time with this Torrontés. This is more intelligent Torrontés. Okay, so Argentina. Now let's go back to Spain. Let's go take you to Tierra Alta for 100% Garnacha Blanca. This is where the Grenache Blanc or Garnacha Blanca grape was born, a mutation of the red variety. So this is kind of like 3 levels up on in quality tiers from our good friends at Editaria. This is Editaria Seleccio, 100% Garnacha Blanca, grown in ancient sand dunes, believe it or not. So this place is like 20 miles from the sea, but the sea used to encroach on this area, and there were sand dunes here. And now you can grow grapes in them. Okay, now let's go down to Valencia for this beautiful label. And congratulations to our wine rep, our vendor friend Michelle, who gets married in about a week. And she has chosen this beautifully labeled bottle for her wedding. And she's intelligently done that, not just because it looks cool. Every table is going to have a bottle of this, and that'll be nice. I don't know if it coordinates with her colors, but the other good thing is the wine's bitchin'. It's very good wine. And most of you who have been shopping at the Wine Steward for years will recognize Mestizaje because we've been very loyal to this for a very, very long time. This is made of a grape called Merceguera, and then there's a little bit of Malvasia and a tiny bit of Viognier in there as well. It's grown inland from Valencia. Oh, it's fun. Everyone likes this. Sometimes you see it on the menu down the street at Sabio and so on. I think it should be on every by the glass list in every restaurant because it looks cool and it drinks wonderfully. It's just delicious, harmless, good white wine from Eastern Spain. Red wines. What are we doing for the red wine flight? Well, we are trying to get you back in here if we pissed you off last week. Basically, not all of you are into Italy. We did an all-Italian flight, so the wines were higher in acidity. They were food-oriented wines. They weren't big, sexy, yummy things. So we thought we would give you a hug. We'd bring you back in and show you more friendly, usually domestic or domestically oriented red wines with a little more body, a little more fruit. So let's take you first to Santa Barbara County for Ojai Syrah. Beautiful stuff. And you're saying, wait, you're doing Syrah first in a flight? It works because this is kinder and gentler. Syrah, this is very elegant stuff. It'll work. You'll see. So Syrah from Santa Barbara County. Let's quickly go back to Terra Alta, Spain, to our friends at Editaria for a wine they call Via Edetana. I know the names are confusing, but this is going to be made of Garnacha, the red stuff, along with Syrah and Carignana, or Carignan if you want. It's beautiful red wine. We gave it to the Wine Adventure Wine Club a couple of months ago to very, very good effect. We showed it at the Spain wine event for those of you who were able to come and you loved it and bought it. We have some left over. Let's put it on the wine bar. Big, juicy stuff. Now, let's impress you with a big bottle. Come on. This is Luca Old Vine Malbec from Uco Valley, which is the southern part of Mendoza, Argentina. And, okay, the cork's sticking out. Let's get it farther out and give this a run. Now, you Wine Adventure Wine Club members may say, hey, we just got that in our club, didn't we? No, not this particular bottling. This only came to us in Magnum form. So the fun thing is we're going to pour out of Magnum. This 2016 Old Vine Malbec from the Uco Valley, or Valle de Uco. Structure. You know, I think that's the most important part of our Mendoza's, it's the best sub-region. For a more mineral effect, you get a little more structure, what we call structure, tannin and acid down there in the Uco Valley. This wine certainly bears it out. Now, I promised you domestic flavors, and I think all of these wines, even though they're not all from the United States, behave that way. But let's get truly domestic and go down here to Monterey area, literally across the street from the Santa Lucia Highlands for a delicious Pinot Noir that we'd like to put in front of you repeatedly because you guys love this stuff. This is Wrath Pinot Noir. It is just freaking delicious. I'm going to prove it. How do you prove that something's delicious? Well, you just watch somebody taste it and say, oh, it smells delicious. It is delicious. Oh my gosh. Now you believe me, right? Okay. It's really good. Wrath. Kind of like Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath and all that, right? Apparently that's not why they chose the name, but I think it fits. Because it's Steinbeck country, right? Monterey, Pinot Noir. They make several Pinots here at Wrath. We tasted them all and said, let's give this to you guys. The Swan, that's a clone of Pinot Noir. Swan 828. Two different clones involved here. Send in the clones. Right on. Finally. I'm going to put this video away in record time. A new Cabernet for you. Yes, we do sell Cabernet at the Wine Steward. I know I tell you about a lot of funky things like Roussette and Cabernet Franc from Washington and all these other wacky things. But, you know, we're going to reward your patience and your loyalty with something that you're a little more comfortable with called Cabernet Sauvignon from the Napa Valley. How about that? How ironic. Oh my gosh. Oof, this is big and dark. It's going to make a lot of you happy with a generosity of fruit, an ample amount of oak. My aim is good today. You guys ever see The Meaning of Life? Remember Mr. Creosote at the end? I've got this bucket over here. Okay, we won't reenact. This is structured Cabernet with a lot of fruit. So I think the cab person who expects tannins and fruit is going to get their stuff here, especially for like a very decent price these days. Napa Valley Cabernet is just shooting way up there. It's especially because 2020 is going to be a tricky year for them and supplies will be low, so the prices are already going up, but this is decently priced. Hindsight 2020, get it? 2018 Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon. I think we run through everything, but just a quick reminder that you can head to thewinesteward.com to speak for, in other words, buy them ahead of time, 6 bottles of this beautiful white Burgundy, and move around a little bit on that website and you will find the opportunity to sign up for the next event, which is Lizzie Butler showing Chile and Argentina, at least 12 or 13 different ways, and it's going to be good. We've already chosen the wines. There's going to be like 3 whites and 9 or 10 reds. It's going to be cool. So thank you very much. Hasta la vista, baby. Don't knock over a glass. I'm not used to wearing these ponchos.